What's up, YouTube? Fjester here. We're downstairs in my electrical mechanical room, but this is my home automation rack. Control 4. I have a Control 4 system. People want to know, how much does a Control 4 system cost? I can't tell you how much it cost because I bought this house 5 years ago with this system. The guy who built the house did everything, most everything in the house right, except for this. My neighbors tell me that he hated this. I don't like it. But let me show you what brings this all about. This is a whole house Control 4 remote control. Everything here is 15 years old. I'm assuming this is probably 15 years old also. So for a remote control to last 15 years, hey, it's not bad, right? This thing broke. The only way to turn on or control any of my system is through this, or the touch pads, which I will show you shortly, which are basically of no use. There used to be an app on the phone that was free, that I could control everything from the app on the phone, but they discontinued that with iOS 10 maybe. Question is, what would you think one of these things should cost? Remember, it's proprietary with Control 4. It controls a bunch of functions. It is radio frequency. It is infrared also, I believe. Ding dong, ding dong. Okay, here's what it costs. To replace this remote, it is going to cost me a total of $332. Okay, when I was thinking about what was it going to cost me, because this has been going on the fritz for the last couple months, I was thinking $200, $250. I was right, because itemized, this is $220 with a $22 preferred customer discount, 10%. And then they're getting us for a minimum of 1 hour to come out to my house in Park City and program this to work with my system. Here's my deal. Expectations begets disappointment. So the key to avoid being disappointment is to lower how low your expectations. So I expected $200, $250 for this, and I expect them to come out for an hour to program it, minimum to come out. That doesn't disappoint me. I got the quote emailed to me. I clicked accept right away because it was basically right in line with what I was expecting. That's kind of been the whole thing for me with the Control 4, is I've got very low expectations. What is this? This right here was my first multi-channel amplifier. This is multi-channel amplifier. This is the amps for all of my speakers. I've got 16 speakers, 8 zones that I can control from, used to be my app, from my wall touchpads, or this. So, and I've only got a 3,400 square foot house, but I've got 8 zones. Many of those zones, because they're each individual amps, so there's 16 little small amps in there. Left channel in the garage would die. The right channel in the master bath would die. And I can't tell if this is on all the time, but I think it is. So they failed. I found this for $100 on Facebook. I bought it, had them out here, took them 2 hours to swap it out. And sure enough, the one that I found on Facebook had several dead zones. Not as many as that. So what I need to do is I need to get that put back in down here, figure out which zones are good, and swap them around, because you can have two multi-channel amps. It's a big pain in the ass, and I'm an electrical contractor, retired. I should be able to do all of this. You, as a handy homeowner, should be able to do all of your own AV stuff. With Control 4, forget about it. You can't do shit because everything needs programming and computering, and I don't know. But it's out of our hands, and it is in the hands of Control 4 at $110 an hour to do every little tweak you want on your entire AV home audio system. If you're into that, there's your expectations. It's going to be expensive. So, on my rack here, multi-channel amp, that's what I got down there. Audio matrix switch, media controller. This is my Xfinity cable box, because I only got cable in one room, the big room. Monster power, clean power amp. Your Dolby surround sound, Integra, which is not a name brand or anything, but I'm sure they charge a buttload of that. I think there's a cooling fan up here because I can feel warmer air coming out. The rack moves. So a bunch of the cables going to each device, TV, plug thing, are monitored in here. And then up here, I don't know if you can see, but there's a buttload of cables coming from each room. So here's the deal with Control 4 and technology. 15 years ago, this was state-of-the-art shit. You know what state-of-the-art shit 15 years ago, in 2004, was component cables. They did not have HDMI cables. HDMI, I think, based from my recollection, were starting to come out and being used. But the biggest HDMI cable that you could buy was like 10, 15 feet. I'm in the basement, up walls, over, down to the ceilings, out to the garage. I probably need 50-foot cables. They weren't making them like that back then, which they are today. The other thing that I don't like about the Control 4 is, and they were doing this 15 years ago. 15 years ago, we were putting in these orange flexible conduits from here up to each TV, so that you could pull in cables later, you could pull out cables, and you could upgrade to HDMI. They didn't do that here. Was that an option? Maybe. Homeowner chose not to do it because he kind of figured he knew he wouldn't be here 15 years when this was needing updating. So tomorrow, and I called today, so Control 4 has really good service. They're bringing me a remote and they're going to program it. The next day, my personal account rep is coming out here to give me a quote on all new shit. Let me show you some more shit that's 15 years old. Sony Trinitron. Everybody had them. These were the top of the line, best TVs that money would buy 15, 20 years ago. And it's about a 20-inch on one of them swivel brackets. Behind here is a single gang junction box. That's where Control 4's magic happens. I've got 5 cables coming out of the wall into the TV. This, my friend, is a Control 4 touchpad. Okay, touchpads 15 years ago was pretty high tech, but that doesn't work anymore. And furthermore, it's cattywampus and falling apart, but it does not work. This is one of the 2 of the 4 touchpads that works. This is the one in the master bedroom. It works. Although, and you can't see because I've tried to get it, I need a macro lens, but there's lines streaming up and down almost as if this was an 8mm video and the colors are bleeding. But from here, I can access, so here's a family room, unmute, volume up, If it wasn't for this, I'd have no TV because I'd have no way to control it. So right now, every time I want to change channels, change volume, mute, or whatever, I got to come in here. Not bad. It's only going to be for, let's see, I got home. When did I get home? I got home Saturday. Yesterday it broke. That's Sunday. Today's Monday. He called me and he'll be out here with the remote Tuesday. So they're quick on the service. But this, my friends, is kind of 15-year-old looking where you gotta, oops. See? I didn't even know that. That's your volume for in there. I didn't know that. When I bought the house, I got no documentation. I've had Control 4 out several times, servicing different stuff. They never provided me, and they never even told me that there was documentation. It's going to be interesting to see if the remote that's new comes with documentation. I'm not expecting it. Low expectations. I'm not going to be disappointed. Let me show you more 15-year-old shit. Okay, so off my satellite office, I'm on the main floor, big room's right there. This is I call it my media rack. Integra DVD player, VHS, and a 5-disc carousel CD player. I know it works because I put a CD in it once just to make sure it works. On a new system, everything's going to be streaming and hopefully different sources at different locations. This is my big room, big screen TV. This TV is only 5 years old. The previous owner had to replace this because when he listed the house, the TV that was here, which was a couple of inches smaller, died. He replaced it with a 3D TV. So 5 years ago, technology, guess what? 3D TV never kicked in. It never worked. And it wouldn't even work for this because you'd have to have a source, and you can't pipe that source in from a VHS on component cables to get 3D. Picture quality is okay by me. Size, I've adjusted to it. I'm from Texas. We prefer everything bigger, but it is what it is. Center channel, left, right. I've got 2 speakers built into the wall back here for my rear surround, and I got a big old bass 10 or 12 inch thumper. That thing died on me about 2 years ago, but I had one that I brought from Texas when I moved up here. So I just plugged it in. It's the same brand. It might have been the exact same size, made by Klipsch. Problem with this is all the wires are behind here. It's a bird's nest behind there. Component cables that cannot be changed to HDMI or whatever comes out in 3 more years to replace HDMI. It is obsolete. The beauty of the Control 4 system is I've got no electronics sitting underneath here. All those boxes down there, the amplifier, the surround sound, DVD player, CD player, they're hidden away discreetly. The remote control works by radio frequency anywhere's in the house and around here. To change this, I've got speakers out here. I got speakers over on the other side. I got the same setup in the garage, but in the garage, the TV is just hooked up to a Chromecast because I don't really do anything in the garage where I'm going to be watching TV. I just want to listen to YouTube music out there. But I've also got the touchpad and speakers out there where whatever is playing here will play out in the garage. It's not really set up. This is one thing I really don't like for the Control 4 system of 15 years ago. I'm hoping the new system, when I get the sales pitch Wednesday, is different. But whatever, I'm only allowed one source, and that one source can play everywheres. Does that make sense? So whatever's playing here, this sound goes outside the garage and all the other bedrooms, bathroom, and all that stuff. I would prefer to have maybe let the TV stay on in here and listen to Pandora in the master bath. But I don't think that, I know that's not possible with my old 15-year system. The new one, I'm expecting that to be, oh man, I just noticed what the fuck is on TV. And that's The Bachelor, or Bachelorette or whatever. Why? I was watching ABC News. I can't do anything with my remote. I can't change the channel. I don't even know what channel I want because I can't see the guide without walking back and forth a million times. So in a few minutes, I'm gonna turn this off, go in the bedroom, and we're gonna Netflix binge watch for the rest of the night. Now, back to expectations. What is your cost? Now that you've seen my system, I got 3 pieces of expensive gear that are Control 4, matrix switch, amps, preamps. I got the surround sound. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go 1, 2, 3. 4 is the surround sound system. And then what else do I need? I need like Roku and Apple TV. I need some way to stream it, plug something in like a USB and stream. So being that, so I'm expecting, here's what I'm expecting. I'm gonna do this easy. I'm expecting $5 grand a piece on those boxes downstairs. So I got 3 big ones and the other one, surround sound for $5 grand. You can get an awesome surround sound box controller. But that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say $5 grand a piece with installation. So there's 4, that's 20 grand right there. And then I need to do something with that stuff up here. 20 grand is about where I'm expecting his bid. Oh, touchpads, 1, 2, 3, 4, another grand a piece, right? So let's call it taxes. 25 grand is what it's gonna cost to bring all this shit up just so I can watch TV in one room and listen to the same audio in all the other rooms. Those speakers everywhere are all fine. The speakers are all good. The amp is fried, as you saw, I showed you that. So that's my expectations. What are yours? Okay, I couldn't deal with having The Bachelor playing behind me. I know I can read the comments already. So I went and I changed the channel to the only channel I know, CNBC, so that way I can watch the market open up in the morning tomorrow. The remote's supposed to be here at 10 in the morning. Now, the question you need to ask yourself is, with all this expense, is there another way to do what you want to do? That, I've got an idea to put a 70-inch TV here, spread the speakers out, put a piece of furniture here with the components that I can change cables and unplug them and move things around, with some type of furniture or a rack or something here, fish the wires up the wall to a big TV. I'm gonna lose the door. But I've got another means of egress over there off the dining room, which gets me outside, and I've got another means of egress to the master deck from the master bedroom. This door is a convenience. It's not needed, although it's a fucking expensive door. But that would open up the room and give me that stuff, and then I could totally get rid of Control 4. And I could probably get rid of it and do it all myself. It's a normal handyman, mechanically inclined guy, or master electrician that's retired and got a lot of time on his hands. So now that I've got an expectation of 25 grand to bring everything up to code, or 5 grand, take the door out, replace the siding, repaint the wall, sheetrock, woodwork, big screen TV, move the speakers around, maybe even get some different ones flushed into the wall if they can sound as good. That's probably going to be the better way to go for me personally. Now, if you're a family of 4 or 6 and you got to have a separate cable box for each room so each person in each room can watch different stuff and do different stuff at the same time, and you don't want all those boxes and cables and things in their individual rooms, Control 4 might be for you. How much does it cost to put it in an entire house? I might ask my agent Wednesday if he remembers or about what it was. I'm sure he'll tell me. He's pretty cool. We got a good relationship, I think. Through the technology of editing, I'm going to get my new remote installed right now.
That was easy.
All right, that was easy. New remote. Looks a little bit different. We'll figure that out. That's no big deal. The service tech was very nice, very helpful. He was here all of an hour. Plus there's time to drive up here, but I'm sure he's got other stops up here. So, remember what I was talking about? It's all a matter of managing my expectations, right? So, remote changed out, no problem. They had to update my operating system. I don't think it's the new OS 3, which is what just came out 25 days ago. But it's a newer system. In the process of doing all of this, I got my app back on my iPhone and both of my old iPads. I got I think a first generation iPad and a second generation iPad, and I'm guessing they're on, the 8th generation today, but my iPads now control the same stuff that this does. Now, here's the problem where it all went to shit. I lost my multi-channel amp. It does not work anymore. It's not fried, it just does not work. It's not addressable on the new operating system. So this room here, hello cheaters, until I get familiar with where the buttons are. Works fine. Volume.
All the songs opportunities with our limited time offers twice per week.
All that stuff. This room, the 6 speakers, works off of the surround sound amp on top of the rack that I showed you downstairs. The 16 amp, 8 channel stereo amp for all my speakers in all my other rooms and outside does not work. It's not addressable. So I'm assuming that's going to have to be replaced. That's pretty much a given. I really do want that, and to sell this place, I need that. So that's a 4th quote I'm going to have to get from Chris to change that out. That does bother me. Again, Control 4, low expectations, and especially when you're updating stuff. And even the tech said, this stuff isn't for everybody, and it is expensive. So, that's where we are today. My account rep will be here tomorrow for my sales presentation, and we'll get quotes on all that. But I'm pretty sure that at a minimum, I'm looking at a Roku box to add to all this and a new amp. Oh, the other thing that's not addressable anymore, which is not a big deal because I never used it, is I cannot control or turn on my DVD player from all this stuff. So that's not working. All right, that's just Control 4. More reasons why it's a pain in the ass if you have it and you like it. But if you can avoid a Control 4 system from the get-go, that would probably be my best advice at this point. I got my quote, my proposal from my account manager. Let me back up and refresh a couple of things, not just for you, but also for me. The amp, 16 channel, 8 zones. It's not addressable, so it's no good on the new operating system. This is a 15-year-old system. 15 years ago, we weren't streaming. We didn't have HDMI, Pandora, Apple Play. A lot of stuff has changed in 15 years, so it's not bad. They did just come out with a new operating system, 3.0.5 or 2 or whatever. It's less than a month old as of the 5th of July. A lot of stuff doesn't work. But when we were down here, the technician noticed that this, which is my media controller, wasn't even plugged in. And now that I've got the rack pulled out and I'm looking back here, there ain't shit plugged into it other than a video out. There's nothing coming in. But I think what that was for was the previous owner had 4 different satellite setups. So I think that controlled all of that. So that is not being used, not even powered. The amp is still plugged in. I don't know why. I'll probably unplug it. Matter of fact, I will unplug it. Just because I can. So when I met with my account manager, he was basically telling me that the Control 4 amps are an overpriced piece of shit. He suggested, and this is what the proposal covers, is the Sonos amp. Sonos got a new amp that just came out. It's not even a year old. 125 watts per channel, 2 channels. You can put 4 speakers, 2 speakers per channel comfortably on there. I have seen some reviews on YouTube where they've got 3 big speakers on there and it's powering it fine, where the older Connect amp, I think it is, I'm just learning about the Roku ecosystem, so I might not be correct on that, was less power and it did not drive all 6 of those speakers. So the first part of my bid that I am asking for was to do the Roku so I can stream Netflix and Amazon Prime on my big TV in there, and it goes through all my sound system. That bid there, $129 for the Roku, $30 for an HDMI cable. That's high. A Cat 5 cable at $5. That's a little high too. But and then basic programming and labor for that was only $22. So they're only getting me for 0.2 hours on that, which is more than fair. Okay, the 2 Sonos amps. The amps are $600 a piece. So you need one for each zone that you want. But the beauty of the Sonos compared to the Control 4 is it's a separate app on your phone and it allows you to hook up to all of your streaming services. So Pandora, Apple Play, Spotify, YouTube Music, all of your subscription services, where the Control 4 outdated amp did not allow that. Basically, all you got was whatever your main source was coming in. With the Sonos systems that he's proposing, I was going to do one for the outside master deck and dining room deck. I was going to combine those, and I was going to do one for the garage, which has to be separate. Upon further thought, I called him back real quick and I said, forget about the master bedroom and bath. I don't ever use that. I mean, I just don't use it. It's not worth $600 plus labor installation to put that in when I don't use it. Basic programming and installation labor for the Sonos amps was 0.4 hours. And then he also put on here remove old amp and matrix. So that's the old amp and the matrix switch, which is not, I mean, none of these things are being used now. 1, 2, 3, he had half an hour for removing that, which might be a little bit high, but I don't need to remove them. They fill up the rack and they are what they are. So upon him leaving, I'm thinking, okay, I like this Sonos system. My account manager did not leave me any paperwork or brochures or flyers on the Sonos system. And so that left me up to my own means to check out Sonos. In the process of doing it, I found for my master bedroom, I found a Sonos Beam, B-E-A-M. It's, I want to say it was $300, $400. I'll put a link up in the description, and there's a text going across this right now telling you what it is and what it costs. But what that does is that gives you introduction into the Sonos ecosystem. And it's got like 5 speakers, it's a sound bar. The sound on my Samsung TV in my master bedroom has always been shit. But the Sonos Beam has Alexa and Google Home support, and it has streaming and all the other stuff in that speaker, and it hooks into my TV. My TV remote controls the volume on it. So once I found that out, and this was last night, which was the 4th of July night during fireworks, I ordered a Sonos Beam from Best Buy. Same price, Amazon, B&H Photo, Best Buy, and Best Buy locally has it. So I went to Best Buy this morning when they opened up. I put that Sonos Beam in my master bedroom. Quick and easy to set up. I can stream Pandora, my Apple iTunes music will stream right to it, and the sound fills the room. It's got a deeper bass. I think the audio is going to be clear for me, so that was a win-win-win-win-win for the master bedroom. So now I'm on the ecosystem, and I started looking at it, and the $599, the $600 amps, I said, you know, I need that for the garage. I looked up YouTube videos. It's a very quick, easy installation. You plug it in and you hook up your 4 wires, your left channel and your right channel, 2 wires each, which I was able to identify on the back of my amp. And right now, right over here, let's see here. Give you a little looky right there. I went back to Best Buy just a few minutes ago, and I bought my own Sonos amp, and I put it in myself. So I saved the labor on that. Plus, the way I'm looking at it is, Sonos is not a Control 4 system. It's not integrated at this time with the Control 4 system. So because Control 4 is so finicky and temperamental, when you upgrade system, you lose shit. I said, I'm not going to give Control 4 my money for that when it's something I can do. Now I got room on my rack here. Should I decide to do another amp, another $600 amp for the outside decks? So anyways, the proposal that I got from Control 4 was $1,590. I'm rounding it up to the closest $3.30. But I'm not going to do the Sonos through them. I think I'm gonna like the Sonos stuff. I've already tested it out in the garage and the master bedroom. If I like it enough, then I'll go buy another amp for the outside stuff. Price-wise, what does the whole Control 4 system cost? That's what you came for. He kind of hinted at me that 15 years ago, when all this stuff was put in and the wiring was done, he threw a number at me of about $50,000, which was about $20,000 less than I was thinking, but I usually think on the higher end of scale things when I'm not doing it and I got to pay someone else. He said that I could comfortably tell the potential buyers that this house is ready to go. If you can think it, Control 4 can do it for you. That means integration of your alarm system into Control 4, integrating security systems into Control 4, your thermostats. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 thermostats in this house. 6 different zones for my radiant heat. I don't have air conditioning. That can all be controlled by Control 4. The new operating system, I'm pretty sure, will integrate with Sonos and give you whole house speaker control. What else did I see on there? Lighting control. I think he kind of hinted at me that there's better ways to do it than through Control 4. I know Lutron's really good and it integrates with Control 4, but it can all be done. Price-wise, I was throwing numbers out at him, 20 to 25 grand. He didn't bat an eye at that. He said to tell the potential buyers, starting at from 10 grand on up is where the whole house automation control will come into play, because I'm already pre-wired. I've got so many wires going to each location, anything is possible. And then the other thing I got from him, I didn't dwell on it because it's not important and I really can't tell the difference, but I got the impression that the component cables, which I've got running to all the different TVs, can be converted over to HDMI by using the Cat 5 cables that are going everywhere. I'm hoping that there's some real installers or some media people that are watching this video that can leave a comment down below as to a little bit of everything that I've said. So that's where you're at. Control 4, I don't have a problem with the company, the salesmen and the technicians. The fact that everything you put in, as soon as you put it in, is obsolete, well, I think that's going to go with no matter what you put in. Getting 15 years out of a system in a rack, that's pretty much the standard today. Your appliances in your kitchen are good for 15 years. Your water heater, you're not going to get 15 years out of it, depending on your type of water and where you live. Most people are remodeling their bathrooms and their kitchens every 15 years because it becomes broken and outdated anyway. So 15 years is kind of the rule of thumb for shit anyways. So, are there better ways to do just about everything? Yeah, YouTube is your friend. So there's your Control 4 system overview and what it takes to maintain it and to keep it going. I hope this enlightens you a little bit. I'm not trying to scare you away from home automation. It's just, it's finicky, it's pricey, it's component sensitive, and to me, being a baby boomer, it is a lot of gadgety, gimmicky stuff. Everything is customizable, based on my own needs. Right now, the way I'm sitting as of 3:30 on the 5th of July, I think I'm good. I've got my Amazon Alexa in my master bedroom from my Sonos Beam soundbar. I've got better sound in there, and I can play through that Beam speaker, my Apple iTunes stuff. Same thing in the garage now. And man, the Sonos app and setup, I don't know where my phone is, it's upstairs, is really sweet. It is really good. The price of this stuff, I'm going to say, is close to reasonable based on the ease of use. There's some equity in that. And the options that are available. And then from what I'm reading and seeing online, Sonos updates their shit frequently through software updates and adds more stuff, which just keeps making it better and better and better. So I'm becoming a fanboy of Sonos in less than 8 hours. 6 hours, actually. All right, man. Leave comments. I'll answer anything I can. If you're an installer, media guy, know-it-all with this media shit, leave some comments down below, or answer some other people's comments, or tell me where I'm totally out of place and what I have missed. But right now, I'm good to go. I will be contacting my rep when I return from my next hiking and camping and four-wheeling trip to get the Roku put in. I can safely assume that the bid will change here, because where they've got 0.2 hours, which is 22, they're going to get me for a minimum of 1 hour to come out and do all that stuff. Here, I can tell you right here. 129, call it 130 and 30 is 160, 165, 265, $275 for me to get them to install the Roku and integrate it into my control for my remote upstairs. That's reasonable. I can do that. That's going to give me what I want. All right, man. Hit subscribe. I think that button's right there. Thumbs up there. And stay tuned. I got more shit coming out as it comes out. See ya.